Today's video is going to start a bit unlike the others, all the others I've ever done. We just went through Hurricane Helene in Apollo Beach, so think Tampa Bay, Florida. And we're really close to the water. Most of the time it's a fantastic thing, sometimes it's not. First time in a whole bunch of years we got a lot of water in our neighborhood. Welcome to another beautiful Tampa day. This is late September 2024. We're going across the Sunshine Skyway Bridge. That over there is basically Tampa, St. Pete, and all that kind of stuff. Over this way, you go out into the Gulf of Mexico. We're going over the bay itself, Tampa Bay right now. Now, the reason we're out driving around today, first of all, I got to pick up my girlfriend. We're going to grab some food, but I also want to show you some cool cars. I have to multitask in this world. I guess you do too. We got lots of stuff to do and no time to do it. Let us get going and find some cool cars, trucks, motorcycles, mini bikes, that kind of stuff. Think any of these are going to break?
What, plants?
Yeah.
Say, probably more of those than anything. With berries.
Yeah. Well, needless to say, there's been activity in Florida. Hurricane Helene came down here and zapped us pretty hard. We're taking out the walls in our house and the floors and all that. But a lot of people are suffering so much more. If you trust a particular charity organization, Red Cross type places, please obviously try to help if you can. There's a lot of suffering out there. The Carolinas, like Western North Carolina, damn. But anyway, I'm going to show you the garage where I got the wagon, the 1967 Mercury Commuter wagon, about 2 months ago now. Here's the thing. That sat in that garage in that same spot, totally dry, for about 30 years. And Helene came in, and had the car been in there, it would have been absolutely totaled. It's kind of blown my mind. I'm going to check on the owner of that house, the guy I got the car from. I've not seen him over there, but he had 1.5 feet of water in his house. Let's go over there now and check it out. We're just about a mile from my house, so I'll give you a little look into what's going on with the neighbors here. This is mostly what happens when you get water in your house. You go through, you take up the floors, and you take up the first couple feet of the walls up to all of the entire walls. I mean, everything. But you can see here, this is a prime example. I decided, just to kind of save room in the backyard, I was going to put the 67 Mercury Commuter wagon, one owner, garage kept its whole life. I decided I was going to put it on a trailer in the backyard to save a little bit of room. And because it was on the trailer, it is totally unharmed. And that guy right there is probably pretty happy. He's got a 57 T-Bird in his garage, and it was totally dry. We're gonna get some batteries at a Dollar General, and then we will go back to the house. That stuff will get cleaned up eventually. There are so many bigger things that are important right now. You see, when I say we're right by the water, there's one of the inlets that goes out into the bay. Don't worry, we're going to get to much more exciting, happy stuff here in just a second. Got to get past all this stuff first. We had probably across the floors of our house under 6 inches of water, but when that happens, there's a whole bunch of stuff that has to be taken out. Several of our friends here, oh, by the way, just noticed that. I don't know if that's electric or gas or what. I don't want to get into that whole debate, but wow, a little crispy. These stacks of furniture and things began to show up in everybody's front yard out by the curb within hours of the storm. As soon as daylight hit, these little piles started showing up. In a situation like this, I'm sure some of you are wondering, why would you just take it to the curb? Well, the way the state of Florida is set up, when there's an emergency like this, like a disaster relief thing, they have a whole bunch of big trucks come around and pick it up, like those things you see in the junkyard, the big 3-prong hand things that come down and grab it. You know, also, if you're looking around thinking, oh, that's not too many houses that have stuff out. Well, a lot of these people are not here right now, or they're, you know, there's one or two people in the house. They're retired. They're waiting for people to show up. They're just so many different situations. We're going to go back to the house now. This truck is going to be sitting at the end of the driveway. In front of it will be the Hummer. Then I'm pulling my black 03 Corvette convertible out of the garage that you guys, I don't think you've ever even seen. And boy, they got a lot of stuff down there. There's also a factor here when you live in Florida that this water, not only does it have the potential or the probability of having sewage water mixed in, but it's salt water. And there are so many things that you've probably seen the little videos or pictures of alligators swimming through the water. But the bacterial stuff in this water is, oof. Plus with it being salt water, if it gets up in your car, this is a whole new level of flood damage. So if you find a car and you're thinking, oh wow, it's a flood car. If it's a saltwater flood car, if it's something really old, you may be okay. But if it's anything newer, like a buddy of mine has a BMW convertible that was about 2/3 underwater, and that car is now worth whatever you can sell the fenders for. Maybe just metal parts, basically. Tires, that's about it. Because the rest of that stuff is going to be absolutely worthless. The salt water, it can damage and totally ruin not only the wiring, but can get into all the seals, and once it gets into like the rear end, the transmission, the engine, it's just terrible.
Do we just let it? Well, does it go under the cabinets or just two?
No, it does. But it's like, do I let the...
I feel so guilty right now, man. I'm driving my 03 convertible. It's a built LS1, runs like 1180s at 119. It's got nitrous on it, but I've never used it. But it's the first time this has been out of the garage in a year and a half, maybe 2 years. I'm such a terrible father. I'll take it up the road here and see if I can have any fun with it. It runs great, but we had to clean everything out of the garage, so that's why I'm out driving it. Give it a little gas here. Yep. Runs well. There's a Model A pickup truck in there before this storm too. Well, there's the wagon that survived Helene and the tractor. 52 Ford. Some of you guys forget that old tractors are stronger than death itself. How much you want to bet it'll fire up? Key forward. We'll get a little. What's up, dude? Hope you didn't bet against it. That's the 8N, man. Just act like you know. Yeah, the wagon totally survived it. We're going to go over in just a second and look at the garage where it was kept, and you'll see that if had it stayed there, it would be totaled right now. Man, I'm glad I happened to just look down. I could have that welded, but looks like it may have been welded years ago. There's a big old, see that on there? Huh. I guess I'm doing that before I drive it, because that locates the whole front axle assembly. Wow! I wanted to show you guys something here real quick. Can you see it already, the water line there? Attack doggy! Anyway, that water line, to give you some idea, I'll back out a little here. That, it's past my elbow. And the little dog is not quite that tall, but hey buddy, what you doing, sweetie? Anyway, there's the water line up past my elbow. This was the garage where the wagon stayed for 30 years. can see how much water there was. It's just crazy. That thing sat in there for 30 years. We moved it out, took it to my place, and this place flooded like a matter of weeks later for the first time in 30 years. You can see it's just, look up the road there, down that way. It's next level. You good little puppy. You can't go with us. You're wondering if we have food and a clean floor? A lot of water issues. Hurricane Helene, you a big old beeyotch, girl. Ugh. Cruising through my neighborhood, all kinds of people have lost so much stuff, even more than we have, drastically more than we have. We took out the bottom 2 feet of every wall in the house. All the flooring is up. But all these people around us, man, I feel guilty even bringing up the slight suffering that we've endured when these guys are so close, and let alone North Carolina and all that. It's just insane. But there are a couple of things going on. I'm gonna take you to where I bought the station wagon, the 67 Commuter wagon, just a matter of weeks ago, which was flooded far more severely than our house, and that means the car would have been totaled after sitting in there totally dry and protected for 30 years. It would have been junk, thanks to Helene. I'm gonna stop up here, get an idea what's going on. Also, there's something over here I saw that I'm gonna ask about, because there's part of me that never changes. Look on top of the stack of stuff. See that? See those wheels right there? Right there? I'm gonna ask about them. That's a go-kart. And you don't know if you should be thankful or just stand here and tear up. In the midst of all this stuff, there's my new go-kart that the Predator motor's going on. A lot of emotions here. I just talked to the owners. They can't stay in this house at all. Let's throw this thing in the truck. I'm not even sure this go-kart's ever going to work again, but I'm going to try. I told them if there's any way, I'm going to drive it over here. That's all my swap meet stuff in the back. That was already in there before the storm hit, so I didn't have any place to put stuff. The front wheels roll, the back ones don't, but I'm going to put about 12 tons of PB Blaster on it. I don't think Scott's here, the previous owner, but there's the water line. There's my leg. Right there. Whew. Wow. Yeah, I don't think he's here. I think the neighbors are just using the driveway for now. This will take the energy out of you. And we can see on the side here. Where the water was. Astounding. That house right there is where I was checking out a yard sale, and I happened to look over as I was walking from my car and saw the wagon sitting in the garage. I'm gonna grab a tape measure. I think I keep one in the back of my truck. I'm not sure though. Yep. Do a quick little measurement here. As soon as I measure this, we're gonna go back and measure 21 inches. Get that okay? Yeah, 21 inches. And the side, sorry I'm delivering some terrible video quality. I'm trying to open up the tape measure. That's 22 there. Let's just call that 2 feet. Not much different when it comes to devastation. A lot of people retired down here. They're 70 years old and they're ripping up their floor. That's the kind of thing you want to do when you're retired, right? Ugh. want to show you guys real quick why the water is such an important part of this equation with the storm here. If you'll see in the garage there, Chevy truck and Harley over there. This is a lot of people in this area who have maybe come from up north. They lived up there for a long time, and now they were able to come down here and buy a nice little place and hang out by the water. And the thing is, we're just so close to the water's edge here. Our yard is 2.5 feet above sea level. It's very close to water. And a lot of you are saying, if you didn't live so close to the water. Well, this also obliterated North Carolina, where it's like hundreds of miles from the shore. So yeah, and the eye of the storm also never got any closer than like 75 miles from our house. She was a big girl. Helene was a very big girl. We're gonna go back to the house now, and I'm gonna show you with that tape measure where the water would have been on the side of the wagon. I would drive the wagon over here to say hi to the previous owner, but he's not over there. He's not at this property. He's got another property that used to be his parents' house a few miles away that's safe and dry. But let's check out the level of this water on this wagon. 22 inches up minimally. Okay, let's measure. Let's go 22 inches on the car. That's where it would have been. The 22 would have been at least right about halfway up the door. Ugh. See what it would have been on the front. Excuse the yard, we had some recent weather. Let's come over here. 22 inches to the base of the grill. The whole bumper would have been underwater. But you know what? You can't say 100% of that storm was bad, because it didn't get this car. I know that's one little baby victory, but everybody right now is looking for a victory in this area and all across the southeast. That wagon runs and drives great. Just have to get a gas tank put in it. That's the last thing. But I can drive it now with a little tank in it, Derek Beery style. That's our current status here. Thank you guys for watching. I appreciate you. I appreciate all the friends who have helped. Also, the tractor that my dad owned since the 70s is totally fine. Fires up and runs great. It looks, however, let's get real close in here. See that weld? My dad owned this since about 74, and that weld was not done in the time that he owned it, so it's been there. The newest it could be is early 70s. Thank you guys for watching. Look at that sky. That's what happens after a storm. It becomes just beautiful.